Come here. I want to share with you 5 CUBASE little secrets that I think you need to know about. Hey, what's up, my friend? Chris Selim here from Mixdown Online. Yes, today I'm going to share with you 5 CUBASE little secrets. A lot of people don't know about these very cool features we have in CUBASE, and some do know about them but don't know the use of them. And this is what I want to show you in this video, how you can use them and what they are all about. Now, before we jump in, since this is a CUBASE video, let me talk to you about the Ultimate Guide to CUBASE, and this is a course that I have for you if you want to increase and get better at knowing and working with CUBASE. You want to get full control over CUBASE. This is the course for you. And since you're watching this video, you can check the link down below and get 15% off the regular price with the coupon code that I have below. So check it out. The link and the coupon code are listed right down in the description of this video. Okay, now let's jump in CUBASE and look at the first little secret. And this one is the metronome patterns. All right, so let's go and activate the metronome by clicking on C. Or at the bottom right of the transport, there's that metronome icon, the activate metronome icon. You can activate it and you're gonna hear the metronome. Now, if I want to change the pattern, right now the time signature is at 4/4. And I have one metronome count, like one metronome hit per beat. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I want to double time this. What I'm going to do here, if you check at the bottom right, we have 3 dots. I'm going to extend by clicking on those dots and moving my mouse to the right. 1 time and 1 more time. And there you go. Now I'm going to have the patterns available, if I click, available for this time signature, which is 4/4. So I'm going to click on default, which is the pattern that is playing right now. And I'm going to go and click on double tempo. And there you go. Okay, let's go to half tempo this time. Oh, let's go to 6/8. Based on the same time signature and the same tempo, which is 115 BPM. Default one. When I record drums, I love to double tempo the pattern. So super fast and efficient. If you just want to change the pattern of the click, you can just go down and you make sure you extend the show count in and click patterns. 3 dots that we have here, you extend that to the right, and there you go. You will have the patterns that you have access to for this time signature. Now, if you want, you can open by clicking on the Open Metronome Setup. You can click open on the Click Patterns tab, and now you have the list of all available patterns per time signature. And you can also create your own custom pattern if you want to by selecting just by clicking on the plus sign beside add new pattern of under each time signature. Okay, and when you select the time signature, or when you write down the time signature, let's say I write down 12/8. Now if I click on my pattern, I'm going to have the default one. And I'm going to have the second pattern available for this time signature. Okay, so very straightforward, very simple to work with, and very fast also to select a new pattern while you are recording. And doing it this way, you don't even need to create a tempo track. Okay, so this is the way I do it without the creation of the tempo track. Now for the next little secret, the snap point. Okay, now if I double click on any audio event, I'm going to open the sample editor window, and I will see that little S icon at the beginning of the event, right in the center. And this is the snap point. Basically what that does, it's the point where you're going to be able to snap to the grid when moving that event around. So I'm going to make sure that my snap on and off is active. Okay, so this way, if I move or copy that event, let's say I want to copy it, to another, just to another part of the song. If I move it around and I snap it to the grid, the beginning of the event is going to be the point where the event is going to snap on. Okay, basically, okay, because the snap point is at the beginning of that event, but you can change that around. And in this case, if you listen carefully, you will see that the first beat of bar 6 is not the beginning of that event. Okay, it's right at the end of that reversed sample, okay, at the end of the rise, you know, the rise effect. That's the first beat, right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Okay, so this is what I need to set up so I can copy that event around, and this way it's gonna sync and place itself right at the first beat of the bar I want to copy that event on. So to do that, I'm just going to bring that start point to the location that I want, which is going to be right here at the end, you know, of the rise effect, and that should do it. There you go. It's actually on bar 6. There you go. Okay, so now if I want to copy that over to the next one, which is going to be bar 10, keep my finger on Alt, and look at this. You know, I'm moving that around. The snap point is what CUBASE is going to look at for that event to snap that event to the grid. So it's not going to take into account the beginning of that event, but it will take into account the snap point. This way it's very easy to copy and move it around. So let's listen. First one. There you go. Let's copy that over one more time to bar 14. Okay, so super easy to work with, and again, that speeds up the workflow. Because if I don't move that that snap point, what's going to happen? Let's bring it to the beginning. I'm going to move that one around, and to place it where I want it to be, I'm going to have to do it manually. Basically, I'm going to have to deactivate the snap point and, you know, try to find the exact spot where I want that sample, that rise sample, you know, to be at, which is going to be this part, the end part of the rise at the first beat of bar 10. So it's doable, it's workable, but it's longer. It's not very practical. So the way to do it, you just set up your start point to the right location, super fast, and then you can copy those over in a very fast way. Of course, you need to have your snap to the grid active, and there you go. Super fast and efficient. There you go. Okay, let me show you another situation here. I have this little piano recording. Okay, now the beginning of that part is not on the first beat. Okay, it starts before the first beat. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to do the same, double click on that piano event and move the start point to the exact start of the first beat of the bar, okay, which is not the start, the beginning of that piano part. There you go. So this is exactly where the first beat is going to start. And now I'm going to copy that part over. Super easy. Check how fast it takes me to move that around. Okay, so you got it, and this is one situation where moving the snap point to a specific part of the recording is a very practical thing to do when working in CUBASE with these types of recordings where the first beat is not aligned with the beginning of the event. Okay, now let's go and look at the third little secret, and this one is the pre-roll feature. Okay, so I don't know if you noticed, but if I bring my playhead to, let's say, bar 25, okay, let's go to bar 25, and I click on play. When I click on stop, the playhead is going to go back to bar 25. And this is because in preferences, under transport, I have the return to start position on stop active. Okay, so this is not the tip. This is only the way I have a CUBASE working when it comes to the playhead. Now, if I click on play, look at the playhead. It starts just a bit before, like a second before my start point. This is pretty cool. So this way I can select that exact spot where I want to start, but I just want to add a bit of roll before I start, before like that exact location. This is how I can do it. And it's very simple to do. So I'm going to go down under the transport bar at the bottom. Okay, and I have the setup transport at the bottom right. I'm going to click there and I'm going to activate the pre-roll and post-roll, and they are going to appear right here. Now the pre-roll is activated. This is what I need to do to make that one work. And right here I have the select time format, the secondary time format. I set that up to seconds, but you can do it on bars also. So if I select bars, for example, and I select the amount of pre-roll. Let's say I'm going to bring that to 1 full bar. When I'm going to click on play, it's going to go back 1 full bar before crossing my start point, which is bar 25 at the moment. Okay, so this is how I can do it. What I usually do, I do it with the time value instead. So I kind of like to keep it at maybe like a second. And that's it. So this is the pre-roll, and this is how you can do it. Now for the fourth little secret, plugin latency. Now a couple of weeks ago, one of my students sent me an email asking me about a problem he was facing. He was working on 2 different projects. Now his first session was his recording template session, and the second session was an actual recording he was working on. And the problem was that on one session with the same amount of buffer size, he was getting way more latency on one session opposed to the other session. So his buffer size was pretty low at 128 buffer size, and he was still getting a lot of latency when recording audio on his recording session. So I took a look at his session, and I actually had an idea on what was going on. And I made sure that on the mix console, if you click right here on the top right on setup window layout, that the channel latency is checked on, okay? And what that is going to do, it's going to give you the amount of latency per channel that is generated per channel as far as plugin goes. So there's some plugins that are going to add latency to your session. When mixing, that is not a problem. But if you add plugins while recording, that can create problems, in the middle of a recording session, especially when recording audio. And this is exactly what was happening. And it was something like this. He had a de-esser on one channel, and that de-esser was generating 34 milliseconds of latency, plus reference reverb is going to generate also some latency. So 10 milliseconds on one channel, and the second one also had a reverb on it that was generating some latency. So you add those up and you have a lot of latency. So even if you go back and you activate a constraint delay compensation, it is not going to help because of these plugins. So what you need to do, if that happens to you and your buffer size is low, but when you record, you still get a lot of latency, look at your plugins, check out which of these channels and then plugins are generating that latency, and then turn them off. And I'm not talking about making sure that they are bypassed. By clicking on those plugins, they are only bypassed. They are not turned off. If you want to turn them off, keep your finger on Alt and click on the on-off button, and now they are going to be turned off and you will not have any latency on this channel. Okay, so if you have several plugins on one channel, so let's say, you know, I have this one, and let's go with the EQ frequency. Okay, I'm going to open frequency right here. And I'm going to look at that channel. I'm going to say, okay, I have like 34 milliseconds of latency on this one. Which of these plugins is giving me latency? I'm going to click here, click on that small arrow, and it will give me the list of the plugins that are generating latency only. Okay, so the only plugin on this chain is the de-esser that is giving me latency. Frequency is not listed because it doesn't give me any latency. Okay. If I add, let's say I add reference to this package, all right, activate reference, and now I have 44.7 latency on this one. And now I'm going to have, if I click on my arrow, I will have listed the de-esser and reference with the amount of latency that they generate. Okay, so this way you can just select those plugins, turn them off, and record without latency. That's simple. But again, to make sure they are off, keep your finger on Alt, click on the on-off button on your insert plugin, and that's it. It will turn them off and not only bypassed. And one last quick tip here. If, for example, if I look at the de-esser, if you open your plugin and you have a live option, activate it. And that is also going to turn off the latency. So the plugin is not going to need to add latency to be able to work and to analyze the recording. It's going to do it in the live type of approach. So if you end up facing this problem at some point, you know what to do. Now let's look at the last little secret that we have in Cubase is pre-gain with the pen tool. Okay, let's check it out. All right, so usually when I clip gain an event, I'm going to select that event. I'm going to click on that center square icon, bring it up or down, and that will bring the level up, like the gain up or the gain down. Okay, very simple. Something I can do also, if I want to, let's say I want to turn down like only one portion of that event, I can select my pen and select that section that I want to turn down with my pen. And that's it. Very simple to do. I cannot increase the gain, but I can turn the gain down with the pen tool, which is actually pretty cool. And there you go. And now I have clip gain automation in a way. So let's have a listen. And this is with the piano. So again, pre-gain is going to affect the signal going into your channel before it hits the plugins. So it's not like the fader level of your channel. It's going to happen before the signal hits the plugins, the sends, and the fader of your channel. So make sure you remember this. So there you go, my friend. These are my 5 Cubase little secrets that I think you need to know about. Leave me your comments, questions down below, and don't forget to share, like, and subscribe to the channel if you're not already. And don't forget the ultimate guide to Cubase if you want to put your hands on that very cool course and increase your control over Cubase. Check out the link below and also the 15% off coupon code. And enjoy the course. Take care, my friend, and see you next time. Bye-bye.